It was just past midnight when Aaron Miller's dog, Scout, began to bark at the train line. Aaron lived alone in a modest cabin tucked deep into the pine barrens of New Jersey. He liked it that way. It was quiet, private, and far from the noise of the townspeople. That night, the sky was moonless, a kind of black that made you feel like the world was at the end of 10 feet away from you. But Scout's barking was sharp, urgent, and Aaron knew that the dog didn't react like that normally, other than if something was wrong. He stepped onto the porch with a flashlight and scanned the woods. Nothing. The silence that followed was dense, unnatural, and even the crickets had gone silent. Scout stopped barking, his ears perked, his tail low, and slowly backed towards the cabin door. Aaron noticed that and turned to follow him, and that's when the light came. It was a beam, not from above, but first it came outward, from the forest. A pale bluish glow flickering between the trees like moonlight over water. Then came the sound, a low, vibrating hum that seemed to thrum inside Aaron's chest. He froze, trying to place the noise, but it didn't sound like an engine or a generator he ever heard. It sounded alive. Then a figure stepped into the light. Aaron raised the flashlight instinctively, but it flickered and died. He squinted. The figure was tall, over 7 feet, with elongated limbs and skin that shimmered like wet stone. Its eyes enormous, black and lidless, reflecting nothing. The creature didn't walk so much as glide. Behind it, more figures emerged, silent and symmetrical, as if it was choreographed. Aaron couldn't move, couldn't scream, couldn't think. The closest alien raised its hand. A ring of violet light expanded from its palm, washing over Aaron's body like a scanner, and then nothing. Aaron awoke to blinding white. No walls, no floor, no ceiling, just endlessness, seamless light. He floated, weightless, naked, but somehow not cold or exposed. He opened his mouth to speak, to scream, but no sound came. It was like trying to shout in a dream. Then a voice, not a sound, but a presence, filled his mind. Observe. Before him, a seen earth hanging in space like a fragile marble. Then closer, clouds, oceans, cities. The plant shimmered, and Aaron saw flashes. Wars, deforestation, pollution. The bustle of life seen through the human lens, then abruptly silenced again. Why destroy what you cannot restore? Aaron tried to answer, to reason, to plea, but the presence continued. Why are you a billions, and yet we choose you? Suddenly, his mind was filled with sensations, colors he'd never seen before, shapes and bent logic, music that made his heart ache, and memories not his own. Generations of travel across galaxies, civilizations rising and falling, and collective memory so vast it made him microscopic. They weren't cruel. They weren't here to conquer. They were just curious and calculating. We study. We remember. You are now remembered. A tremble of light reached towards his forehead. He flinched, but there was no pain, just an overwhelming surge of understanding. And then, Just as suddenly, Aaron gasped, awake in his bed. Morning light spilled through the window. Birds chirped. Scout lay curled at his feet, calm as if nothing happened. But something had. The trees outside were scorched in a perfect circle, blackened tips like candle wicks. His watch read 7:14 a.m. Hours has passed, through it felt like a mere minute. Then he checked his reflection. He noticed a faint circular mark behind his ears, smooth and almost metallic. Over the next weeks, Aaron changed. He no longer craved alcohol or processed food. His sleep was deeper. His dreams were vivid and strange, geometric, and in languages he never talked or understood, but now he did. Star maps, constellations. He could feel thoughts that weren't his. Once he sat in the woods and started to talk to a squirrel. Well, tried to, but could understand a little bit the way it thought. Later, he realized he'd understood it. It's a panic. It's a hunger. It's a joy. It made him feel alive, but it also made him cry. He tried to tell somebody, arranger, people he knew, professors at universities. But the moment he began to speak, words failed. It was as if the experience defied language. He wrote it down, filled notebooks with diagrams and memories, and even those pages began to feel meaningless. Because deep down, Aaron understood this wasn't meant to be shared. It was meant to be carried. A year later, a stranger knocked at his door, tall, quiet, with the same faint mark behind his ear. They said nothing, just nodded, and Aaron nodded back. Because some knowledge isn't meant to change the world, just to prepare it. And they were still watching, somewhere above the pines, still remembering, and still choosing.